In the woods where the tall trees sway, Rich Van Gogh parked his motor home, ready to play. With his paintbrush in his hand and his heart so free, he found inspiration in nature's harmony. Inside his humble abode, colors come alive on canvas. He paints, expressing all his strife with the spirits of the woods. He dances in the light, creating masterpieces every single night. Although he's living off the grid, he doesn't mind. With his art fueling his soul, his happiness he finds, surrounded by the peace, the birds and the breeze. His motor home in the woods where creativity sees.
In the woods where the tall trees sway, Rich Van Gogh parks his motor home, ready to play. Hey everybody, man, what's going on in the kitchen? Welcome to Travels with Carl. Today is, I can't believe it, but it's episode number 10. We've been at this now for 10 weeks. It seems like a lot longer than that, but this whole project was conceived quite a while back. In fact, the book itself, 52, which coincides with the 52 episodes, or at least the first 52 episodes of this YouTube, culminating in a book, which I started in grad school. Not for my projects. I wanted it to be separate because I knew I wasn't going to finish it within my graduation year, so I kind of kept it on the down low because it's got 52 paintings and 52 short stories and some other cool little stories that aren't really jobs, but the whole thread is that my life as an artist, going through the screen like a salmon, and because I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, I've had to work my whole life, and as my grandfather would say, all these hands has ever known is work. Well, that may have been true for my granddad, but not really true for me. But anyway, we're at episode number 10. We're going to be talking about job number 10, which was actually my very first business, my own business, sort of. And today's episode is sponsored by San Pellegrino Ciao. I wish that was true. It's sponsored by me right now. But if you'd like to sponsor me and you own or work for Cunard Cruise Lines or Southwest Airlines or Grumbacher or, Utrecht, something like that, you'd like to sponsor me, Apple maybe, DJI, come on down. And also, if you're out there, you know I'm talking to you. I need some help with the YouTube channel and with my social media. So if you're good with that shit, I will fucking pay you, okay? Not a lot. Eventually it could be a lot, but right now, it's not going to be a lot. But it'll be okay. Here's to you, man. But before we jump right into this, let me ask you to hit the subscribe button and the like, thumbs up button. And if you want to ring the bell, that's good too. If you can share it on your social media platform and help the brother out. Oh yeah, In-N-Out Burger, if you're out there and you'd like to sponsor me, I'm a big fan. We don't have one up here in Seattle yet, but I know it's coming. I think you're down there in Vancouver, Washington, which is, as far as I'm concerned, that's Oregon. That's way too far for a burger, dog. Okay, besides 52 jobs and my life as an artist and my jobs supporting myself as an artist, my other big goal in life is to end prohibition. I'm not talking about prohibition and alcohol. We know that got ended back in 1933 with the passing of Amendment 21. Okay, but this is Amendment 21-A. Now, this book is available on Amazon, as I've told you, and the link will be underneath this YouTube, whatever you call it, eventually. I keep promising that. And like I said, I'm not real good at this stuff. I need help with the digital stuff. So if you're out there, hit me up. You can shoot me an email, richvango@gmail.com. We'll just leave it with the email for right now. I don't really want to put my personal phone number on here yet. Anyway, so what if changing one thing could change the world? I'm just reading the back now because this is the book in a nutshell right here. This is that one thing. Ending the war on drugs will be the single largest and most important change in the law in my lifetime. It will positively change the city you live in, the country you live in, and the world that we all live in. It's hard to even wrap your mind around the changes this will bring about until you read this book. I think about all the unnecessary pain and suffering this war brought to us all, and I'm just glad I was able to stop it. Just say no, stand with Van Gogh against illegal prohibition. 1995 on Amazon. They'll ship it to your house for free if you're a Prime member. Not plugging Amazon, but hey, Jeff, if you want to sponsor me, you know how to find me, dog. Okay, so that's the pitch. I do that every episode. I have to, because that's my thing, man. That's my juice. I got to end the war on drugs before I leave this beautiful planet. Speaking of the drug war, we're just shooting ships now. Anything leaving Venezuela that looks like a drug boat, we're just unleashing the hellfire on that shit, man. Just boom, smoke on the water, boom, 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 boom. Fire in the sky. Yeah, there's no judge or jury now, man. They just see a boat. Just say anything looks like a fast boat coming out of Venezuela, they're going to smoke your ass. So you might want to think about a different trade route. You know what I'm saying? I hate to see anybody just get vaporized over some cocaine. All right. Let's just jump right into business job number 10, which is business number 10. And you remember how I said that I was going to have the first 10 paintings finished and maybe a couple of prints? That didn't happen, and I have really good excuses, but I'm not going to bother you with them. I'm just going to say it's not done yet. But here's the drawing. You're always going to get at least a drawing, right? So that's not too bad. Let me zoom in a little bit. Here's my Miller Gold Star machine, my welding machine right there. And here's the famous sculpture that I'm going to be talking about. This is in my father's machine shop. Okay. There's a cylinder of argon gas, which is an inert gas used in MIG and TIG welding. Creates a little atmosphere of argon around the molten metal, so the impurities in the atmosphere don't get in there, and you weld aluminum to aluminum, and you don't have any other carbons or any other bullshit in that molten metal. Okay, that's what really made this shit fucking happen, bro. And this is the last time you're gonna have to suffer through this. Remember, I told you I was using a dictating software when I was in school a few years back. In Portland, Oregon. Shout out Pacific Northwest College of Art. Not. Anyway, my first business, number 10. It wasn't too long before this guy, who was a super ace welder, I put a welding machine in my dad's machine shop. He was like renting a corner of my dad's shop to do his own welding gig. Some of that business overlapped a little bit. He eventually decided to sell the welding machine and get out of business altogether. And I bought it from him for about $2,000. Now, you can buy a welding machine today for a few $100s. It's just unbelievable how cheap some technology has got. But this guy was like the best welder my dad had ever met. And it was pretty amazing to get to work with him a little bit. He taught me how to silver solder, which is way different from quote unquote soldering. It actually uses real silver, and the bond is so strong that it's actually stronger than the materials that are silver soldered together. That weld will just not give up. Or I should say that joint, that soldered joint, will not give up. But it's trickier than regular soldering. Anyway, this guy was like the best welder that any of us had ever seen or known or heard about. So obviously he just had like this freaking state-of-the-art welding machine. It was called a Miller Gold Star. So I started working in my dad's shop and taking in my own work, and eventually we both decided it wasn't a good fit to have this welding equipment in the machine shop, because in welding there's also always or usually a lot of grinding, and the dust and everything isn't really good for lathes and milling machines and other precision pieces of machining, machine shop equipment. And it's also not good to breathe. And we weren't both wearing respirators, you know. And anyway, it wasn't really a good fit. But a couple of really good pieces of sculpture came out of that. And I believe that one of them was responsible for my admission to Philadelphia College of Art, which I actually count as a job, and that's next week's. But I'm giving that up right now because I'm going to talk about that sculpture, or a bust, as you know would normally be called. The neck up, that's usually a bust. Sometimes it's from the rib cage up. Never the full body, but usually when you hear somebody talk about a bust, it's from the waist up, or from the rib cage up, or from the neck up. As a sculpture, it's usually a human being we're talking about, or a morph of an animal and a human being, like this case. So I started doing metal sculpture that eventually showed in my portfolio when I applied to Philadelphia College of Art that summer in August. Now, Philadelphia College of Art is now known as the University of the Arts, and it's in Center City, Philadelphia, which is where it was before, but now the campus is much bigger than it was back in the 79-80 school year, which is when I started. So there was, I had been out of high school for 3 years now, and I wasn't sure if I was going to go to art school or if I was going to go to college at all. But my mom saw this thing in the newspaper about Philadelphia College of Art, and they had an open portfolio review day, and you could go in and meet with the faculty and show your portfolio and fill out an application, and then they would let you know by September if you got accepted. My mom, miss you, Mom. She's so awesome. She's responsible for me getting into PCA, man. This happened in August of 1979, okay? So I took some great work into the portfolio review day, but my favorite piece and their favorite piece was a welded aluminum head, or a bust. It had a really kick-ass looking base on it, and it was all made out of 1/8 inch aluminum sheet metal. And the face had spiral eyes and a mouth that protruded out, almost like an alligator's mouth, but not quite that long. So it was kind of like half man, half alligator, but it had huge teeth, and they were just triangular shaped teeth, like on a great white shark. And I remember I was so poor that I took my work into school in paper shopping bags, like when you go to the grocery store and you ask them to put that in a double paper bag. Yeah, that's what I was carrying my artwork around in, or at least the three-dimensional work, because besides this metal sculpture, I had some wood sculpture and some really nice ceramics, but I think it was this metal sculpture that really took it over the top. And I had drawings and paintings and other two-dimensional work. But, some of the kids had these really fancy portfolios, and they were dressed real nice and everything, and I was dressed kind of like I am now, blue shirt, t-shirt and blue jeans. And so I remember the look on the teacher's face when I pulled the sculpture out. I was like, oh my God. He goes, that's fantastic. And he goes, wow, hold on just a second. And he walks out of the room real quick, and he goes and gets another faculty member, and I can see him through a glass window, and they're like pointing at me and pointing at that sculpture. And the other faculty member came over with him, and they picked up my sculpture. They're like, is it okay if I pick it up? I'm like, absolutely not. You know, it's kind of a pretty special moment right there. And there was like 10 or 15 of us in this room getting our portfolios looked at. And there's a bunch of faculty member in there. He comes over, and the other teacher in there, they pick it up, and they're looking at it, turning it over and looking at it from all different sides. And this guy just comes right up and he goes, so we'd love to have you if you'd like to join us in September for your freshman year, because we're just going to offer you admission right now. And I said, I'll see you in September, man. Thank you. Yeah, that was it. They didn't even care about my application or anything else. They just offered me the, I still had to fill out an application, but they just, you're in. They just just accepted me right there in that room, that moment. Well, I was thrilled beyond words, and the school was so cool. It was in a 21-story tower building that was formerly owned by Arco Oil. It was their corporate headquarters, United States corporate headquarters, and the top two floors, 20 and 21, housed Philadelphia. One of the Philadelphia public schools was on the top two floors, and we had the rest of the building. So you had to ID yourself when you walked into the lobby, and there was security there, and 24/7. You could go there anytime, but there was security there, and you always had to show your ID to get in, because there was a lot of riffraff. Okay, we're talking about Center City, Philadelphia, and it was a lot of riffraff back then. Now it's just a whole nother world with the fentanyl buzz going on. Okay. Let's see, where was I? Yeah, it was right on Broad Street. And I mean, you could look out the front door and look right down the street, and there was the City Hall and the William Penn sculpture by Alexander Calder's grandfather, I think it was, or great-grandfather. It's just unbelievable, man. I felt like I'd hit the lottery, and like I was in the big league. You hear me talk about getting to the major leagues, okay? I thought I was on my way that day, for sure. Still kind of feel like AAA ball is as high as I got. Never made it to the World Series, but that day was probably one of the most adrenaline highs I ever got from being in the art world. Or it was one of them. It was an early one, okay? And this is like, it was a no fooling around college. This was like one of the top art schools in the world, for sure the country. And anyway, I got accepted that day, showing that metal sculpture. And so that was worth the price of that Miller Gold Star right there. But yeah, it was a lot of good things came out of that machine, and having that time there. It was also a great time with my dad, even though we knew right away it really wasn't going to work because of all the grinding that I had to do, and it's hard on the machines and it's hard on our body, and it was better that I just weld and have a whole separate building, which I never had another separate building for myself for my own welding equipment. Then I'll probably buy a welder for the house that I'm in now, because I've got places that I could put it, and I've got a backyard that I could do, and a porch that I can do all the grinding that I need to out there. But I may buy a welder now that they're just dirt cheap, but it won't be before Christmas. I'll just leave it at that. I don't have too much politically or socially to say. I hope you all enjoyed my Robert Kennedy impersonation last week. I know people are still talking about that. I really enjoyed an episode of Traveling with Kristen today, Kristen Wilson. I just asked her if she would do an interview of me and help me blow this channel up. She's just crushing it, and she did 2 Dummies books. She did Digital Nomads for Dummies, and she did Traveling, Moving Abroad for Dummies too. I have Digital Nomads for Dummies, and I bought Moving Abroad for Dummies, but the book hadn't been released yet, and they returned my money. Now the book is out, so I have to. I'm gonna have to get it again, order it again off of Amazon. But I need to order a bunch more of these because I buy them whole. You know, I get them for cost. I buy them wholesale, 50 at a time, so I can give them away and sell them myself. Because some people don't, you know, they don't even want to take the time to go on Amazon. Like all my doctors, every doctor I've ever had since I did the book, I give them a copy of the book because they all understand this drug war is stupid, man. And it's a medical and a mental health issue. It's not a criminal issue. It never has been a criminal issue, but we've made it a criminal issue, and now we're making it a global criminal issue. And, you know, it's really fucked up. Anyway, it's good to be back in Carl. It's so ironic that I expected it to be raining like a son of a bitch over here, and now the sun is bright and shining. And I may just go back and build a bonfire because I was going to do this episode by a bonfire. Excuse me, I don't know if I've told you how addicted I am to fire, but not like a pyromaniac kind of addiction. But like a sitting by the campfire kind of addiction. And I'll tell you, it's just like nothing better for you than maybe sitting by the ocean. But there again, sitting by the ocean with a bonfire, that's like, that's a double header right there. That's that's as good as it gets, man. Especially if you're with your honey bunny, you're out there. Hey, speaking of honey bunnies, I got a wild bunny at my house now. I call him Good Bunny. I'm sure you guys have heard about Bad Bunny. This bunny ain't no fan of Bad Bunny. In fact, he doesn't even like the press that Bad Bunny is getting. I mean, if you think about it, if you were a bunny, you know, this is this dude from Puerto Rico coming out all sexy and cool like he thinks he owns the fucking world. Bad Bunny, man. Doing this, gonna do the Super Bowl. Fuck him, man. I don't like Bad Bunny, okay? I'll tell you that right now. I could give a fuck about Bad Bunny, but a lot of people love the bunny, okay? I like my Good Bunny much better. It's pretty quiet, you know, it doesn't do any singing. I haven't got to pet it yet. It runs off, but one time it walked right up on me. I'm not kidding, it was 2 or 3 feet away. Silent, man, like full-on stealth. I'm not sure if it used to be somebody's pet. I mean, this bunny is immaculate and looks well groomed. Like, I guess bunnies can just look that good in the wild, but I don't know if somebody owned this bunny at one point and just let it go, or if this is actually just a wild bunny. But so far, it's the only bunny I've seen in my yard. But I've been pulling up some carrots from my little carrot plot, tossing them some carrots, or her. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but they like the carrots, man. They do love my carrots. They're organic, you know. How could you not like them? I know last week I talked about the little farmhouse, a little stone house I bought in Portugal. It's a done deal now. Contracts sent back over to Portugal. I signed them, sent the contracts back over, gave them the deposit, paid my attorney, and now I'm going to go over. The next thing now is I just fly over there for my birthday. I'm going to attend the Mushroom Festival. I know I told you about that. I'm going to go visit Lisbon and Porto, unless I don't have enough money, but I'm not even going to bring that shade. I'm sure I'm going to have enough money. It's a little tight, you know what I mean? Because I just bought this land outright. But I'll put a cushion back together again. I worked without a net for most of my life. That's what I call it. So I'm hopeful that I'll be able to. Well, I'm not hopeful. I am going over there in August, and really looking forward. I'm sorry, in November for my birthday and for the Mushroom Festival, and I'll meet with my attorney then, and then I'll also get a chance to walk the land, okay, because I haven't seen it yet. I've never even been to Portugal yet, but I'm hoping I'll be able to go to Porto and to Lisbon and spend some time there. I don't know who this dude is outside, but I'm sure that he doesn't realize, but he's on Travels with Carl. He's probably concerned that the gate is open and I'm in here apparently talking to myself, talking to my phone. Okay, well, it's okay, because fair is fair. He's out there talking on his phone. We're at 30 now, counting the intro and the ending, so I'm going to call it, man. I'm going to call it right here, and I'm really looking forward to next week. You know, I promised you this before, but I will have these paintings finished, and we will be talking about Philadelphia College of Art. I loved PCA, man. I still do, and I can't wait till my next trip back to visit the University of the Arts and introduce myself to the president of the college. I met him once online on a Zoom call when I was getting my master's degree. And anyway, love you, man. I'll talk to you soon, and let's ride.
Surrounded by the bees, the birds and the breeze, his motor home in the woods where creativity sees. Sun will abode, colors come alive on canvas. He paints, expressing all his strife with the spirits of the woods. He dances in the light, creating masterpieces every single night.